This is my slideshow on bony fish. My question was to give a detailed description of a bony fish and describe several examples. So, let's get started. First of all, you're going to need to know some words. You're going to need to know vertebrae, an animal with a backbone, and fins, structures which are used for moving, and gills, what the fish used to breathe. So, fish are A fish is a vertebrate that lives in the water and has fins. Fishes make up the largest group of vertebrates. In this slideshow, I'll be talking specifically about bony fish. There are three types of fish. Biologists classify them as jawless fish, cartilaginous fish, and bony fish. Now, I will not be covering jawless fish because I couldn't find anything on them. They're separated into these categories based on their jaw and bone structure. So here's a little diagram. I'll let you take a look at that. Alright, so let's get back. According to Google, a bony fish is a fish of a large class distinguished by a skeleton of bone and comprising the majority of modern fishes. The term fish, not bony fish, but fish, is a limbless, cold-blooded vertebrate animal with gills and fins living wholly in the water. The common characteristics of these two terms is that they have bones. So, how do fish breathe? They don't hold their breath like whales. They use gills. Gills, remember that was one of the words that I told you need to know, are the respiratory organs of a fish and some amphibians that allow oxygen to enter the bloodstream. Now, some of you may be wondering, how do the gills get water? The answer is quite simple. As water passes over the gills, oxygen moves into the bloodstream while carbon monoxide moves out of the body and into the water. So, kind of like when we're breathing, but we don't pull the air through gills on our neck. Really, all that's similar is the carbon dioxide is moving out of our body. So here's a little diagram of gills. Alright, so how do fish move? Well, they move with fins. A typical fin consists of a thin membrane that is stretched across a bony support. The fin acts as a paddle. It provides a large surface area to push against the water. A good example of this is when you're wearing a pair of swim fins. You go much faster than if you're just kicking with your feet. That's a very common example that most of you've probably done before. Okay, how do fish feed? Most of the fish time is spent feeding. Different types of fish have different types of teeth. For example, trout are insect eaters, so they have blunt teeth, whereas a shark has very sharp teeth for tearing meat and human flesh. Not always human flesh, but still, flesh. Each fish has a specific body structure for the way it feeds. For example, a shark has a very streamlined body like a torpedo for hunting fast fish, while goldfish are fat and lazy and have life handed to them on a silver platter. So, how do fish reproduce? Most fish have external fertilization. If you guys have, if you guys want to open your books, just look in chapter 11. In this process, the eggs are fertilized outside of the body. The male hovers close to the female and releases a cloud of sperm over the eggs as the female releases them. Sharks and guppies have what is called internal fertilization. Internal fertilization is compared to being pregnant. So, a little more in depth. Now that I've talked about fish in general, let's talk about the individual types of fish. If you recall from earlier, I talked about the three types of fish. That was slide 5. Now, I'll explain them each in a little more depth, but like I said earlier, I do not have jawless fish. So let's start with cartilaginous fish. Probably the most common types of cartilaginous fish is the shark. Other examples include rays and skates. These fish have jaws and a set of fins. They also have very sharp teeth, kind of like your canines, only serrated and made for chomping. Uh, the shark's teeth, as soon as they fall out, another row is already there to replace it. And stingrays have a big barb on the back of their tail that they will use for hunting. Otherwise, they'll just swallow the prey whole. Bony fish are probably the most common type of fish. These fish include trout, tuna, and goldfish. The body of a fish is covered with scales. There's a pocket inside the head that holds the gills, too. The gills are covered by a flexible flap that opens the gills. For more on gills, see slide 8 and 9. Okay. Now, people have a symbiotic relationship with fish. We keep them as pets, and in turn, we eat them. It's kind of cut and dry. So, that is all I have. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to know more, just watch the video again. So, thanks for watching.